Hey there, Steve. Want to play a game where you're a murderous demon? Hells yeah, I sure do, Frank. But before that, I really want to kiss your ugly mouth. Right on, brother. And don't hold back on the tongue. Oh yeah. Well, it seems we have a new entry in the ever-growing VR genre of graphic stomach-churning violence, and it's called Tainted Fate. It's developed by Misfit Village, a small independent Croatian studio currently focused on multiple VR titles. Tainted Fate launched into early access as of May 28th, where you can grab it for $12.49. Keep in mind that Tainted Fate is very much in the beta stage, and the developer has a long list of improvements and additions to come in the impending updates. Tainted Fate drops you into the grotesque claws of a demon tired of taking crap from his demon boss. You're summoned to Earth, where you blaze a path of horror and death on your way to kick the ass of said boss. Numerous human and demonic foes stand in your way, which is really stupid of them, and they totally deserve all of the dismemberment you inflict. All of it. Even this. In addition to your bare hands, you can also teleport into the torso of an unsuspecting person, thus exploding their organs out of their body for your dining pleasure. Yummers. You'll acquire 2 additional demonic powers from the 2 bosses you defeat, sort of like Mega Man, but with more blood and pus. But the real core of the game is both the ripping as well as the tearing. Taking on enemies with your bare hands is a lot of fun, but the mechanics still need work. Grabbing limbs feels inaccurate, and sometimes you can't tell which part you're grabbing, so you can't rip in the right direction. Pulling off arms and legs also feels weightless, like you're tearing paper instead of flesh. Needless to say, there are a number of improvements that need to be made to give the proper juicy feel to the combat. Reviewing this on a Windows mixed reality headset, the controls are totally functional, if not completely fine-tuned. My biggest issue is that I can't use the analog sticks on the window controller to move, leaving me stuck with the touchpads for the moment, which I wholeheartedly despise. Teleporting via the grip buttons works well enough, and might actually be the faster movement option. The graphics actually surprised me. The polygon count is on the low side, but textures are crisp and set the mood perfectly. The levels are carefully designed, even if they are a bit sparse on detail. I particularly like the prison, the ship, and the hell stages, as well as the sequences where you're inside a body and have to shred organs and then burst out of somebody's chest. It just looks great. The environmental structures are also beautifully crafted, like the village, church, and lighthouse. It's not AAA quality, but it's a surprising amount of detail for such a small development team. Monsters and humans are also quite detailed, though I think somebody needs to turn the blood dial up a few clicks. The sound design is also rather impressive. First, the music is awesome. A pounding heavy metal score has been composed for the game, which fits the mood perfectly and kicks in during combat. Second, there's a lot of dialogue. Your character has quite a few conversations with his boss and other enemies, and these are all crass and profane, but usually pretty funny. And the dialogue carries the story along very well, even if one of the dialogue sequences gets a bit long. It's not all good news though. There doesn't appear to be much in the way of 3D sound, meaning you can't really use the audio to locate threats. But I guess that's not too much of an issue, since the damn enemies don't make any sound when they move anyway, so you won't know you're being attacked until you see your own blood. Both of these things are on the to-do list, naturally. The game is perfectly comfortable if you use teleporting, though smooth movement is likely to bother those who are sensitive to VR motion sickness. No different than any other FPS-style VR game. As for immersion, it's hitting close to the mark but not quite there. Hand presence is hurt by some weird angles, and the way you grab objects and enemies feels a bit disconnected, like you're clearly just grabbing and rotating a 3D model instead of convincingly grabbing a real object. From the moment I saw the trailer, I thought this game was something special. The playable version as of this recording is very much a beta. Hell, it's still missing the final boss battle. The devs are very open about the amount of work that needs to be done, but I think this is a great start. Many VR titles succeed on the degree of realism and interactions with your environment, and I believe that this will hold true for Tainted Fate if certain aspects can be improved. Anybody interested in Tainted Fate will very likely have played Gorn as well, which seems to be the king of the ring in hands-on dismemberment in VR. If the combat mechanics can be polished to compete with Gorn, Tainted Fate has some serious potential. We'll be waiting for the updates. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more of this, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and be sure to check out my other reviews as well. See you next time.
Seeing you here is quite an unpleasant surprise for me as well. These fools invited us here. Are they